what? Look at those potatoes. Look at these Brussels sprouts, the salmon. Oh, baby. The sauce, yes. We officially killed it with this one, you guys. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Ivory, and today, first of all, before we get into the video, let me just talk to you guys real quick. So you guys will find out in my weekly vlog on hopefully Sunday, latest Monday when I post it, that I got micro needling done this week. And I'm staying all the way back here, y'all, because my face is like peeling. It's not as red as it was earlier this week, but it's peeling a lot. So I am just not presentable enough to really be making content, but I really did not want to go an entire week without giving y'all a video. So I am just going to do a highly requested short, straight to it cooking video, okay? Y'all have been loving my cooking content on Instagram and on YouTube inside of my daily vlogs, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick little easy meal to make at home, okay? So really, I didn't go to the store for this. I'm literally about to just cook you guys what I already have here because I had to make myself some food anyway. So, you know, I'm gonna really break down the recipe, the ingredients, how I do it, all that good shit. So we just wanna go ahead and get started. We are gonna cook salmon because that's what I have defrosted in my fridge. All right, so before we really jump into it, I just want to let you guys know what I prepped. Before you start cooking, if you're making anything inside the oven, make sure you preheat your oven, because when you already made it and prepped it and it's ready to go in the oven, why do you want to wait for your oven to preheat? Do it before. So I started off, I preheated my oven. I made a sink full of hot soapy water. I have my pan already lined with whatever this is called, oil. Yes, before I forget, you know what? This oil. I have my potatoes already washed, ready to go. I have a cutting board. I have a knife. I have my knife sharpener. Okay. Regardless of how much you cook, I highly recommend getting a knife sharpener. You can get a cheap one from like Target or Walmart or Amazon or something. You don't have to get a super expensive one, but keeping your knife sharp is definitely going to help with cutting, prepping. Like if you have a dull ass knife and you're like doing too much trying to cut it, it's just never a good deal. So before I start cooking any meal, I always sharpen the knife that I'm gonna use because you just want a sharp knife. The cool thing about making this style of potatoes is that you can really change the flavors without doing too much work by just changing either the type of potato you use or the seasoning that you use. So right now I am cutting up some golden potatoes just in some slices. You just see how easily this knife works. I'm telling you guys, get you a mother-loving knife sharpener because it'll make your cooking life so easy. So we got our golden potatoes, and now I have some red potatoes. I'm just doing both types of potatoes today just because I want to. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, they damn near taste the same to me, for real. So these are cut, and now I'm gonna go ahead and mix and match them onto my cooking tray. Since I'm mixing the potatoes, I feel like it just actually blends the potatoes out, and then it looks kind of cute. Okay, so as you can see, they're cute in a nice order. With this, you can just change the flavor based off what you top it with. So I'm gonna make like a garlic herb style. So I'm gonna start off with garlic. I like to buy pre-peeled garlic because it just makes it easier. And I always use a garlic smasher. It's like $10 on Amazon. It's super easy to clean, and you can get your garlic minced up without having to cut too much. I like a lot of garlic, so for this amount, I don't know, let's see. So we're on 2 cloves. I'll probably end up using like 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. I am a garlic lover. The next thing I'm gonna do is I like to personally buy fresh herbs. So I have some rosemary and some thyme. Like I said, I'm making some garlic herb potatoes. The fresh herbs, I feel like just add more, kind of makes it more aromatic if you are keeping up with me, but I think they look really pretty. I like the freshness, so I like to cook with it. It's not necessary. You can just go buy the already dried herbs. You're still gonna get the flavor, but like I said, I'm just a person who likes to buy as much as they can fresh. And when you are seasoning these, you really wanna make sure you get flavoring on every single one, because you don't wanna have a potato that don't got no flavor on it. Cool. So that's gonna be our rosemary. Now I got some thyme. Get a couple sprigs. I think that's good. So now that we got this on here, we're gonna go ahead and season. So I'm going to go ahead and put pepper. Like I said, you want all your seasoning to make sure you're touching each and every potato, because that's how you get every potato flavorful. So that was pepper. I like ground mustard, so I like to sprinkle this. Cool. For this, I'm going to use seasoning salt, Lawry's. Onion powder. I feel like I want to do red sage today. Do some paprika. So now I got my seasoning on here. It is completely, every single potato on here has seasoning on it, which is the goal. Also, another thing is, just because there's a lot of seasoning on here doesn't make it salty. The only salt is in here is our Lawry's seasoning salt. These aren't salty. So if you get what I'm saying, some people be like, oh, it's gonna be really salty, da da da. No, this is very flavorful. Each of these have a different flavor palette, and these are not salty. This is the only salt that is actually on these potatoes. So I like to put my olive oil on at the end, because I feel like it helps the seasoning stick to the potatoes. And I go ahead and put it on over. So with this, I use olive oil based off of the seasonings that I did. I'm doing garlic herb, so I feel like olive oil goes with garlic and herb flavoring. I have avocado oil. I also use butter, and I am gonna use a little bit of butter now. So what I'm gonna do is just cut a square chunk. And then what I like to do is cut this square chunk into a bunch of little squares. So now I have little pieces, and I will just go down all of these and put little pieces of butter all around. This is really just for the flavor of the butter. The olive oil is gonna do its job for like making sure that these don't burn. All right, beautiful. So as you can see, these potatoes look so beautiful and they're definitely gonna taste hella bomb. So from this point, I will put it in the oven at 375 and I will let it cook until I see all of the potatoes are golden brown. It'll usually take 20-25 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and do a vegetable today. I'm going to cook up these Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna cut them and season them and throw them in the bowl before I saute them. So some of these kind of have if they have like a little bit of an ugly first leaf, I will just take that leaf off because right under it will be a nice looking clean leaf. So I just go ahead and make sure all of them look nice and good. All the leaves are good because we don't want no dusty ass leaf in our food. I'm gonna go ahead and cut all of these Brussels sprouts in half. I can already smell the potatoes and they smell hella bomb. One thing I like about those potatoes a lot is that you don't have to do anything. Once you've dressed them up with the seasoning, put everything you want on it, and you pop them in the oven, like that's all it is. You don't need to flip them, you don't need to do anything to them, you just need to let them sit there and cook. Soak in the flavors, and that's it. All of our Brussels sprouts are cut, they look good. I'm gonna go ahead and cut up a shallot. I have all type of onions. I love onions. I have red onions, white onions, I have shallots, obviously, and I use them. They have subtle differences in the flavors. I really like shallots. They are a smaller onion, but they just taste really good. I feel like shallots taste closer to regular sweet / yellow onions than a red onion does, but it also has that coloring on it. I also like to use shallots with lamb a lot. They're really pretty. They have good flavor with them. So now I'm just like kind of poking them out and separating them and just mixing it in. I definitely feel like we can use a little bit more, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit more. Next thing I'm going to do is put lots of garlic. I got like a decent little handful. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and season this. I am not gonna use any of these fresh herbs. I used a lemon yesterday. Obviously, I didn't use all of it, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the rest of it today. I think an acid with vegetables always brings out the best flavor in the vegetables. So I always try to do like a little bit of lemon juice because I just feel like it always complements vegetables. All right, now for the seasoning. I am going to use some olive oil. Use a little bit of pink Himalayan salt. And I'm gonna use some seasoning salt. I'm gonna use some cayenne pepper. Onion powder. I'm gonna use a little bit of paprika. Always gotta put pepper. So you see that's what it looks like. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give it a stir. I make sure all the Brussels sprouts are getting coated with the seasoning. I want the shallots and the garlic to get evenly dispersed around and those to be coated with the seasoning. Now I feel like it is definitely coated with a decent amount of seasoning. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this to the side, get ready to prepare my meat. I'm gonna choose out my seasonings, get everything that I'm using on my meat over here. So when I start prepping everything, I have it all right here and I'm not running back and forth. So before I start on my regular protein, I am going to cook up some bacon to add to my Brussels sprouts. I love the way bacon tastes with Brussels sprouts. I think it's so good. The bacon with the lemon, the garlic, the seasoning, the shallots, I just feel like it all goes so well together. Some of this bacon. And obviously bacon's definitely gonna be optional. I just like the flavor it brings to the Brussels sprouts specifically. But yeah, it's up to you. If you eat pork, don't eat pork, don't wanna have as much fat in your food. This definitely is gonna add more calories to our Brussels sprouts, but I personally like the flavor, so I'm gonna add it. All right, as you guys can see, this bacon is beautiful, golden, not too crispy, but just crispy enough. I personally do not like my bacon to have any of the fat not cooked. Just grosses me out. But yeah, so this is it. And actually, I think I might even add a little bit of, I think I'm also gonna do just like 1 spoonful of the bacon grease and add that to our Brussels sprouts just for the added flavor, but not too much. So I'm actually going to use the pan that I cooked the bacon in to cook my salmon in. As you can see, there's no actual like drippage from the bacon grease, but just a little bit of flavor. And I'm gonna put my salmon directly into the pot, but we're gonna season it first. So I got my 2 salmon fillets. I am going to go ahead and add some onion powder. I'm gonna add pepper. I'm going to add some mustard, some ground mustard, I guess, to be specific. I'm gonna add just a regular pink Himalayan salt. I'm not gonna do seasoning salt. I feel like the flavor of the salmon doesn't need all of that extra seasoning salt. The regular salt does just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of lemon juice on the top. And we're definitely gonna be adding more of this. Go ahead and put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of the pan. So for my salmon, I cook this side first to make sure it has a nice golden char. And then when I flip it onto the skin side, that's when I let it cook the rest of the time to make sure we get the whole salmon fully cooked. But I like to start off on the top so we can definitely get a nice char. So I still have leftover seasoning from the salmon. What I'm going to do now is grab some garlic. Like I said, I put garlic on everything. It goes on everything for me, like it's not even a question. So I'm gonna go ahead and mince up some of this garlic. And boom. Now I'm finally done with my garlic. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the sink. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some dill. I don't like putting the garlic and the dill on the top of the salmon when I'm kind of searing the top because it burns easily. And it's not gonna taste necessarily burnt, but it definitely gives it like a very blackened look. Salmon and dill. Dill and fish just go together, but salmon and dill is hella bomb. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drop some more lemon juice right on top. And a couple seeds just dropped, so I'm just moving those out the way. I'm just gonna grab this leftover seasoning that is on here and just mix around the garlic. Now that this is in the cup, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more lemon juice. A little more pepper. And a little bit of salt. Salt and pepper is just the basic seasoning to bring out the flavors. So that's all I'm gonna use. And this is gonna wait on the side. I'm gonna add it on top of the salmon after I flip it. So just shaking up the pan just to make sure the oil is getting under the fish so it's not sticking. And just let that cook. I'm gonna let this cook until I get a very crisp coating on the other side of the fish. And like I said, that is that flavoring that we have on the side right over here. So just gonna let it cook. While this is cooking, we can go ahead and start our Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna go ahead and get the pan started. I'm gonna put it on high just to get this pan warmed up quickly. Our potatoes look delicious. They smell great. I'm gonna keep letting those cook. Go ahead and throw some olive oil in your pan. So now you can see that it's so beautiful. It's golden. It has a nice little crust. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat down. And I'm also going to go ahead and add our toppings. So I'm going to add a little bit of the topping on the actual top of this, not too much. The rest I'm going to actually let cook a little bit in the grease. Okay. Mixing it around a little bit. It definitely doesn't need long in the oil, but it's gonna definitely get that roasted garlic. It's gonna open up that dill flavoring. And then any of the seasoning from the oil is gonna flavor it. So now that that flavor has soaked up, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a spoon. And now I'm going to go ahead and put this on the top of the salmon. All right, perfect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add butter to the surrounding parts of the salmon. There's still a little bit of the dill and onions that is down here in the sauce, which is really good. The salmon is just going to cook just like this. I'm not gonna flip it anymore, but I will continuously add the oil back to the top of the salmon, not only to bring flavor to the top and let it soak down and marinate, but it will keep it nice and juicy. This pan is now warm. I am gonna go ahead and toss in the Brussels sprouts. Making sure that I get the shallots and garlic in here. I'm gonna go ahead and add some more butter to this one. And then just making sure you're still moving the bottom of the salmon so it's not sticking and burning. Look how beautiful that salmon looks. So delicious. We are cooking down these Brussels sprouts. But just looking at the shallots and the garlic, it just looks really good, nice and seasoned. You guys can see how golden these potatoes look. They look delicious. So we're gonna go ahead and lower that heat. So we already lowered that heat, so it's not gonna overcook, but they are looking bomb.com. All right, you guys, so I have everything cooking in the back. We are going to make a sauce for the salmon, and I also like this sauce just to dip my potatoes or even the vegetable in. I just love making sauces for food. One thing about this sauce choice is, one, it's going to be a dill-based sauce that's gonna go very well with the salmon. One thing also that this sauce brings to this meal, we have a very hearty meal. We have a very savory, well-seasoned salmon. Potatoes are very thick and filling, and it's gonna be a very savory potato with the herbs, garlic, and seasoning that we use. And then with the Brussels sprouts having bacon in it, it's also just adding a lot of savory flavors together. So when we add this Greek yogurt based dill sauce that I'm about to show you guys how to make, we are going to cut all of that savory flavors with a very light, creamy sauce, and that is just really how you pair meals together. You don't want something to be too savory or too airy or too light or too sweet. You like to have all these flavor combinations working together, and you're definitely gonna get the best out of your meal. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my plain Greek yogurt. I make a lot of yogurt-based sauces because I always keep Greek yogurt in my house, but I will make cream-based sauces. I don't know. I just make a lot of sauces. Sauces are just the shit. So I got a good amount of Greek yogurt in here. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some nice fresh dill. The fresh dill not being cooked is gonna add a nice light green flavor effect. And plus dill, like I said, goes great with any fish. I'm gonna stir it up. I like to be able to see a good amount of the green in the sauce. So once I mix it up and it's very still white and creamy, I know that I need to add more dill. And you can see a decent amount of the dill now, but I'm gonna add a little bit more. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and do one thick clove. Are we gonna do one or are we gonna do two? So I got some garlic. Of course we're gonna do two. More like three. Like I said, I love garlic. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this fresh garlic into our sauce. We can see the seeds already. I'm just gonna put them on my counter or whatever. I'm gonna wipe it off anyways. So I'm gonna get these top seeds out the way. This is the other half of the lemon that we used. We're gonna go ahead and squeeze. Definitely a good amount of lemon juice in here. Now for mine, I like to add a little bit of cayenne pepper, just to add a little bit of like kick, not too much. Obviously the more cayenne pepper you put, the spicier it's gonna get. Add some regular pepper and some salt. Obviously salt and pepper is the basic seasonings, and that's just going to add depth to our sauce. And then the cayenne pepper I like to add. So my camera cut off and I'm not sure if it captured me making this sauce, but I'll just go over it real quick with you guys as soon as I move this knife. I use plain Greek yogurt, fresh dill, fresh garlic, fresh lemon juice, a little bit of salt and pepper, and a little bit of cayenne pepper. Mix it all together. To make it even more creamy, I took a scoop of cream cheese, heated it up in the microwave for 30 seconds so it was very smooth and easy to mix together. I added the cream cheese to our yogurt sauce and mixed that up. So now this is going to be a nice and creamy, delicious sauce to go with our salmon. As you can see, our dinner is done, and yes, it looks delicious. So now we're gonna go ahead and plate everything. So beautiful, so many flavors going on. It's just perfect. This sauce is just a key point in balancing out this whole meal. But like, what? Look at those potatoes. Look at these Brussels sprouts, this salmon. Oh baby. The sauce, yes. We officially killed it with this one, you guys. And we are done, y'all. So I am so happy with this meal. It looks so popping. It's about to taste popping. And I'm just really happy that I was able to get some content out for you guys with my skin looking all crazy. Don't worry, we're gonna go over my skin in my vlog coming up in the next couple days. So I hope that my skin don't even look this bad. That's why I gotta back my ass up, girl, because this skin is looking crazy right now. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want more food videos, like this video and let me know. Like, comment below, let me know what you want me to cook. Let me know that you want to see more, because I definitely don't mind doing them, even though it'd be in my vlogs. But if you want me to really go in depth on a recipe and just a dedicated cooking video, just let your girl know, okay? Because I ain't got no problem with it. Make sure you subscribe and don't forget about your post notification button, because girl, how you gonna know when I post if you don't know when I post, okay? Oh, you know what, let me eat some, because I know this thing about to buzz. Get some sauce on it. I'm trying to tell y'all. All right, I eat my food now, y'all. Bye.